Okay, so we're going to start by recapping part one just a little bit. So we learned that content marketing, which is providing topical and relevant information surrounding your brand, is really important, and it's very important for lead generation and for building your brand. So we talked about finding your target market and aligning your blog topics to that audience. And the overall takeaway from part one of the series is that your blog needs to reflect your skills, your specialties, and needs to set you apart as a local expert for your area. So today I'm going to show you how easy Primeagent makes it to create, publish, and share your blog posts. So let's go ahead and jump over to Primeagent so I can show you how this works. So to get to your blog, you're going to go to Marketing, and then you're going to go to Agent Website Management, and then you're going to click this little button here that says Blog. So this is your blog dashboard. So when you get to this dashboard, you can see that these are all published, but if you had started any drafts and you were just waiting to publish for whatever reason, you would see those drafts here as well. So the other good thing is these are published, but as you can see here, you can edit these at any time. So, you know, maybe a business changed websites or something, or you want to change some dates, you can edit a post even after it's been published, which is great news because it's not, you know, you don't have to redo a whole thing just to fix one little thing. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new one right here where it says Add New Post. And once you do this, you'll see you've got your blank slate, and here's your toolbar so you can start making these blogs. So the first area you'll see here is where you can enter your title. And your title is what draws readers in. So it's what gets readers to click the link for more information. So you want to make sure it's clear and concise. You want to let readers know what the blog is about without giving too much away. So we recommend that your title is 55 characters long or less. If you can, you want to make sure you lead with some keywords from your blog. So for instance, you could say, where are the best golf communities in Scottsdale? Sometimes you need to write your post first and then come back and enter your title, which is fine too, because the way this is set up, you know, it doesn't have to go in order. So sometimes the best way to do it is to read your blog post after you're finished and think of the best title using the keywords from what you wrote about. So I'm going to go ahead and skip the title for right now, and I'm going to start typing my content. And as you can see, as I'm typing here, you'll see where it says SEO settings and meta description right here. And I didn't type this over here, it automatically filled in for you. Now this is important because your meta description is what summarizes the page's content. And this is important for SEO because search engines show the meta description in search results, mostly when the searched for phrase is contained in the description. So if you optimize the meta description, it helps your SEO. So here's what it looks like. So here's the title of this person's blog, and then this is the meta description. So when people are searching, maybe they're searching Australian Shepherd info, it's going to come up here. Australian Shepherd pictures, it's going to come up. So we've built in that SEO optimization for you, and you just need to make sure that your first couple sentences make sense and talk about what your blog is about, or at least that blog post. So the meta description is between 150 and 160 characters. So you want to write a quick description of what your blog post covers. The example in the instruction area, if you go back to Primeagent, is Welcome to Realty Executives in Phoenix, Arizona, providing real estate services for buyers and sellers since 1965. Now that's a pretty general one, so that might be on your first or second blog post, but hopefully you get the idea that you want to make sure you have some kind of description in this first sentence that makes sense. And as you get better at this and maybe learn a couple things about SEO, you can change this. So feel free to change it, but we've also built it in so you don't have to worry about it if you don't want. Just make sure this first sentence, this first 150 to 160 characters describes your blog post. So you can see where I've added some words, and you can start formatting. So if you go to, format, and go to headings, you can see the different size fonts you can use. So maybe you have subsections and you want to have, this is your first heading, and then this is your second heading. So you can sort of just mess with it after, and you can do it before or after your blog is written to make sure it looks the way you want it to look. So sometimes the best thing to do is just get all your content in there and then go back and format it when you're finished. That same area where you clicked format is where you can do bold, italics, underlines, strike through, all of that stuff. So it's all right here under format. This is how you format your font. You can add bullet points here. You can add numbers to your list. This is where you can change your indents. So let's move on to talking about links. A lot of the blogs we looked at during the first session had links. So let's go to a blog that had a lot of links. There was that one about North Park lifestyle. And as I scroll down, you'll see these areas that are in purple and blue are links. So links are great, and they help you because they do a couple of things. It provides more information to your reader. So you're setting yourself up as a local expert because your blog post is not just about what you can do and your services. It's also saying, look, my blog's valuable pieces, my blog has valuable information on it, and I'm going to show you how to get to this coffee house, or I'm going to show you the link to it. So you're providing your readers information about the local area. It also helps your SEO because it gives Google or any other search engine an idea of what your blog's about. He's linking to a lot of local businesses, so Google's getting the idea that this is a blog about North Park, which is exactly what you want when you're building your SEO. And when Google can tell that you're providing value to readers, you become a more valuable resource, which helps you get ranked. So if Google crawls your website and can see, this person is providing links, these links are good, they go to businesses, they're not dead links, it really helps Google to understand what you're doing, and it helps them know this is a useful blog that people can actually get good information for. And that's important for your SEO. So let's go back and learn how to add these links. So you'll see this little button here that looks like a chain, and you can click this, and let's say I'm going to search for a local Phoenix coffee shop. Let's do this Cartel Coffee Lab. You're going to want to make sure, let's pick a different link. You're going to want to make sure that you check this link to make sure it's a good link. Because you obviously don't want to be giving people dead links. So here's this link that's taking forever. Okay, so I'm just going to click this one to give you guys an idea. So you're going to want to copy the URL of the place you went that you want to copy the link for. So you just maybe highlight the whole thing, right-click on your mouse, and click copy. And then that is where it says URL, that's where that goes. And then your text to display, you could leave it as this, but I wouldn't recommend it. So I would say, here's an article about the 10 best places to go for coffee, so you'd say and then you can add. And then this one word, because it's a different color and underlined, readers know that it's a link. So there you go. Now when you go back to this, you don't want people to leave your site. So where it says target, if you leave it here where it says none, it's going to open a page from your blog and it's not going to take people to a different page. So I would set this as new window, and what this does is it opens it in a different tab so that your website is still up. It doesn't take off your website. So if we go back to this North Park lifestyle, and I'm going to click on one of these links, see how it opens a different tab, and you've still got this blog up in the other tab. So you don't have to have your readers click the back button to get back to your blog. You want them to stay on your blog till the end because this is where your call to action is. So you want to make sure you set this, your target, to new window, and that'll prevent your website from being overridden by a link. So in the first webinar, we also talked about the importance of having photos and graphics in your blog. So we've made that pretty easy in PrimeAgent too. So right next to where you had entered links, where it says Edit Insert Link, there's a picture of a picture that says Insert Edit Images. So I'm going to click this, and then you'll see this menu. So this gives you a couple of options. So if you've already uploaded some stuff, it's going to be in your file manager, which is going to be here. Or if it's saved on your computer, you can just go to where it says Upload File and then choose File. It opened on my other screen, but then you can pick. And once it's picked, you can upload that. And that picture was too big. But once it's uploaded, it'll show up in your files here, and then you can insert it. So it'll tell you when it's ready to go, and then you can insert it. So when the image is inserted into your blog, it'll show up in this blue highlighted, and you can see these little white squares around it, and that's so you can adjust the size. So that was a little big, but if you want to adjust the size, there you go. What I found with inserting images is I think it's easier to do it when you're finished. So you enter your text and you know you're going to talk about, this restaurant you went to. Maybe just leave a space so you remember that's where your image goes, but it's a lot easier to format everything once it's in. So you can go in and make sure your picture looks good with the rest of your blog. So I would recommend going through and putting all these in after you write your blog. So adding videos is also really easy in PrimeAgent. Now, the best way to add videos is to embed the link from YouTube. So let's go to YouTube. And we'll pick the recording from the first series I did. So you've got your video here. And as you scroll down, you'll see this button here that says Share. And if you click this, you can see where it says Share, Embed, or Email. So you're going to click Embed, and this automatically gets highlighted for you. So you can just right-click on your mouse and click Copy, and then go back to your blog, and you're going to go to where it says Insert, and then Insert Video. Here you'll see these two tabs. One says General and one says Embed. Well, we just took the embed code from YouTube, so you're going to click Embed, and then you're going to paste your code and click OK. And just like the photos, this will be highlighted in blue and you'll see those little white things again so that you can do this. Now the videos are a little tricky because it doesn't look like I did this right because this is grayed out and it doesn't look like a video's there. And even if you click preview, oh, it wants me to add a title. If you click preview, you'll see that the video did insert correctly. So, you know, if you want to double check yourself, that preview button's really great because you can see what this is going to look like. It helps you see your sizing, and it makes you feel a little better because when you see this gray box, you think, well, something's not uploaded. But it did work. You just need to click preview to double check it. So the next thing you can add to your blog is a widget. And a widget, let me just save this real quick. I'm going to save this as a draft. A widget's just like one of those, so I'll show you what one looks like. So this right here is a widget. This is a weather widget, and it just tells you the weather. And this blog is about beating the heat with Scottsdale summer activities. And so I'm trying to make the point that it's 95 degrees out. You're probably going to want to stay inside today. So these are pretty easy. They make your blog exciting to look at. And like I said in the last one, you want to make sure you have more than just a bunch of words. So widgets are a great way to kind of share a little information, something that goes with your blog that is, you know, changes. So we're going to go to this website. So I'm going to go back to where my blog is. I'm going to go to this. And then I'm going to click weather widget. I'm going to Google weather widget. And anytime you're looking for any kind of widget, if you just click, you know, whatever widget you're looking for, you can find one. And most of the time they're free. So I'm going to make a couple selections here. So I want a current weather widget. I'm going to click Get It Now. And then you have a couple of options here. So this is if you want to show them the weather where they are, or if you want to show fixed location. If I'm making a point of I want to show you what the weather is in Scottsdale, I'm going to pick fixed location and I'm going to enter Scottsdale. And then it's going to ask you what size you want so you can decide which one looks best on your blog. I went with the extra large. And then down here, you click I agree to the terms and then grab the code. Now obviously this is going to be different on whatever blog or whatever widget you use for your blog, but it's going to be about the same thing. So at the end of when you make your selections, you're going to have this code. So I'm going to cut this, or I'm going to copy it. Now I'm going to go back to the blog that I have the widget on so I can show you exactly how to do this. So you're going to go to where it says Tools, and you're going to go to Source Code. Now again, widgets are one of those things you're going to want to add after your content. So this widget I added at the very top of my blog. So it was a little easier because it was the very first thing I posted. But you can see right here where it says widget, all I did was paste it at the top, and then I clicked OK. And this is a little rough because you're not going to see it until you click preview again, because it's the source code, so it doesn't show up when you're editing. You want to make sure after you paste it that you click preview to make sure everything was entered correctly. And as soon as I click preview, you can see here, you can see that widget. So like I said, I recommend you write your blog first and then add your widgets, just so you know exactly where it's going to show up on your finished blog. So if I go back to source code, you can see right here where I start typing. It's that time of year again, so you can see where this goes because you can see where you've started typing. So again, when you add widgets, finish your blog first and then go back, and if you know this is going to come right here, then put it right here. Okay, so one of the other things we discussed during the last webinar is making sure you have a call to action on your blog. So this can be done a couple of ways. Now, let's go back to this North Park. So when this blog was finished, this agent had a couple of links, which we've talked about how to do. So he just linked to his property search page on his own website because he's saying, let's look for houses for you. And then he's also got a separate link that's for rentals, and then he's also given a cell phone number. So one way to do it is to just write your information, maybe put a link to your about page, something like that. The other thing you can do is you can do a web lead form. So what that looks like is on your agent websites, Realty Executives has built in a couple of those already. So if you go to your about page, there's one here. There's one on the sell your home page. And then when you do the property search, you've got that where your information shows up when they click on a house they like. So you can add one of these at the bottom of your blog. And it's pretty easy. So you have a couple of options. So let's go back to my test blog. Now, sorry, I should have left my website open. Hold on one second. So you have access to the ones that we've already built. So this is the one on your selling, which is, you know, probably not one you're going to want to use unless you've written a blog post specifically about selling, because it does say questions about selling your home. But the one on your about page just says questions, need advice, complete this form for more information. So this little button here that says insert forms, when you click this, will give you a list of all the forms. Now, if you haven't built in any, you're going to see the consumer lead form and the selling lead form. The consumer lead form is the one that shows up on your about page. So if you wanted to, you could just copy this and put it here. But let's say you have more specific information that you want to get. So you want to build your own. So that's also easy. So you go to the marketing dropdown, and underneath where it says Agent Website Management, you're going to click Forms and Campaigns. And from here, you can create a new form. So the form name is just the title you're going to see. So if you're going to use this on a blog about, you know, selling or whatever, put that there. The form title is what your readers are going to see. So you're going to want to save this, you know, something like, I'd love to help you find your dream home. Because this is the wording that's going to show up on that form. So you're going to want to make sure this is descriptive. And then you're going to select the fields you want to use and if they're required or not. So when I build forms, I always make sure the first name and last name are required, and then the email is required. Now, if you want to get any of this information, that's great. And then you can decide maybe you want to make mobile phone required. You can, you know, make any of these required or not required, and you have a couple of options. And then when you go down here and click Save, you're going to see it show up right here on your custom forms. And then it's going to show up when I go back to the blog. And when I click Insert Forms, it's going to show up right there. So what this looks like, if you wanted to do it, is here's the blog, here is the widget, and then if you scroll down, here's the call to action. I'd love to help you find your dream home, and then you've got this this nice little web lead form that people can fill out. So you have a couple of options, and we make it pretty easy for you to decide which option works best for your readers. The other great thing you can do with this form is maybe it's the holidays and you have a Starbucks card or a gift basket or something, and you don't want to do a whole blog, but you would love to maybe get some leads that time of year where it's a little harder to get leads. You could just have this as your blog and say, you know, I'm having a contest, fill out your information, and I'll enter you in this contest, and then we'll do a drawing on December 23rd or whatever. So this is great because if you are running out of time and maybe you just need some quick leads, you can just throw one of these into a blog, have a contest or a giveaway, and then you have a couple of more options to get leads. So the last thing I want to talk about is you want to make sure you spend a little time editing your blog. So this is one of my favorite memes, but it just shows punctuation, it saves lives. So let's eat with no comma, let's eat grandma, or let's eat grandma. It's showing you how one little comma can make a huge difference in the meaning of a sentence. So you're going to want to make sure after you've written your whole blog that you go through it maybe a different day than after you've just finished writing it and edit it, or if you have someone in your office or a friend that wouldn't mind reading through it, you're going to want to make sure you spend a couple of minutes really taking the time to go through this and making sure you don't have any typos or misspellings. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the good thing is, let's say you publish it and you figure out a week later there's a typo. All you have to do is edit the post, and you can edit it any minute, at any time. So it's not the end of the world, but let's make sure you take a little time to go over it. So once you're done with your post, you're ready to go. You've looked at the draft, you've made any corrections, you're going to go ahead and hit publish and then update your post. So that's going to just put it on your website, on your blog, under blog. But you're going to want to make sure you share your post with your network. So you're going to go to your blog and you're going to find the one post you're talking about. So this is my Beat the Heat with these Scottsdale summer activities, and you're going to want to copy this and then share it to your Facebook page, share it to Twitter, you know, anywhere you want to share it. When you do put it on Facebook, when you create a post, this preview will come up right here. And you want to make sure to delete this because you already have this. You don't need to have this extra space taken up. So then you can go ahead and talk about, you're going to want to start a discussion. So I'm talking about Beat the Heat with these Scottsdale summer activities. I might ask, what are your favorite activities? And go ahead and post it. That way you're starting a discussion. When you share it on Twitter, there's a couple things you're going to want to do. So this takes up a lot of room. So you have an option of doing, there's a website called Bitly that you can type in, bit.ly. And what this does is this will help you shorten your URL. So when you're posting on Twitter, you only have 140 characters. And you guys are going to want to make sure that you use hashtags. So if you paste the link here, it shortened it. So here's my original URL, super long. Bitly, which is a free tool, made it this short. So then I can copy this and then paste it here. And then you can type in, you know, real estate. You're going to want to type in the city you work in. You're going to want to type in realty executives. You know, use your hashtags like we talked about in the last post, in the last webinar. So then that's how you start. You know, you've got your blog up, you've got your discussions going because you've posted on social media, you've got a good amount of blogs going, and we talked about it last week, but make sure you are setting aside some time. So you're going to want to give yourself time to research, time to find your, your widgets and your photos and your links, and you're going to want to make sure you leave time to edit, check for typos, check to make sure your links work. So once you've posted it, maybe go through, yep, that's a good link. Make sure your links are working, that kind of thing, or have someone else help you out. So that's kind of it. I know we went over a ton of things today. I will send this recording. Thanks for hanging in for this webinar. I'm going to send the recording, and there's always stuff in the training center. So if you go to the training center and you go to the agent websites and Prime Agent on Demand section, if you scroll down, there's some great videos about blogging, and it's just down here a little bit, but here, step-by-step instructions for writing an effective blog, share your blog through social media. So you can go through these on your own time, and I'll be sending you this video. And then you can also have the concierge team help you. So click online, they're here to help. They'll help you, they can help you with links, they can help you with sizing your photos, they can help you with your widgets, anything you need help with, they'd be glad to help. Do you guys have any questions that I can help you with now? Okay, thanks, Herman. You're welcome. Okay, great. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get back to your day, and you should see this recording in about 2 hours. So thanks so much again for your time. Hope you guys have a good day.